Yeah, I know what you're thinking. You can get a job in the Middle East simply by trying or by magic, through others, or by a fluke. Remember that competition is everywhere. Some here, some there, but bam! Loy Machedo is the best.
So we'll move on to the next question. This one is by Sudarshan, 26, from Mangalore. He asks me, how do you have so much of wisdom to share? I see your videos and you have the knowledge on so many things. Can you give some advice how we can have it? Now, very flattering, I'll tell you. It's very flattering to know that I have wisdom. Now, what I can just tell you that I don't know about having wisdom, but the one thing I can tell you is I have made lots of mistakes in life. I have taken lots of risks, made a lot of mistakes, and because I made all these mistakes, I have learned from them, because if I didn't learn, I wouldn't progress. So the only reason why it looks like I have a lot of wisdom is because I made a lot of mistakes. And through those mistakes, I've observed them, I've studied them, I have been aware about them, and I've reflected how to do better. I've reflected. So when you try to be a better human being, when you try to learn from your mistakes, when you keep doing new things, you get the wisdom and knowledge of the past, of your mistakes, and you become a better person. So it's more about being self-aware, of having reflection, of being internally responsible for what you're doing. And that is what makes you better. And given the fact that I've taken a role as being a coach, now I cannot teach and train someone in any particular discipline if I myself have not mastered in it. So it looks like I have wisdom only because I've made those mistakes. And because I made those mistakes, I'm able to, position myself as someone who is a little bit more better. But keep this in mind. I'm just like you. I felt the same way like you did. I went through the same, maybe different circumstances, but the same feelings, same emotions, the same phase. So the only reason I'm a little bit more better is because I'm a little bit more older with much more mistakes. So it's more about using your common sense, asking the right questions, not believing everything that people tell you, and learning from experience. So I hope this answers your question. The next question by Sudarshan, he asks, Loy, you share so many wisdom on various aspects. How can I start implement it in my day-to-day life? Okay. Points of wisdom, how you can implement different strategies in day-to-day life. I always tell people, if you want to try something new, don't try too many things at one time. Take one thing, attack one problem, gain mastery over it, and then improve on it as time goes by. Let's say, for example, I'll give you, just to make you understand now, I wanted to start going back to exercise. So there were different things I could do. I could do running, I could go to the gym, I could do stretching, I could do push-ups, I could do ground exercise, so many things. So if I would try to do everything, including change my diet, including start reading books, I would fail at everything. So what I did is, I said, what is the one thing that I would like to take right now? So the one thing I decided is I would just do slow running, slow, no long distance, no fast, nothing. So I started off with 100 meters, only 100 meters, just slow walk and come back. Second day, 100, third day, fourth day, fifth day. Then I started 200. Slowly I started 400. Slowly I started I reached 1 kilometer. Then I started walking, running, jogging slow, 2 kilometers. And then when I felt that was small, I started going around the block slowly. And today I've been able to keep at this, I think roughly 5 kilometers for quite some time. Now, what I did is, once I felt that was easy, I added a new element. And the new element was stretching, because I used to notice my body was getting a little sore. Now, what will I add on to this? Either I'll increase the intensity or I'll break it, because obviously I don't want to exercise for beyond 1 hour. I don't want to do exercise, running and stretching and push-ups and ground exercise. No, maybe I'll split it. Maybe I'll do running one day, Second day I'll do ground exercises. Third day I'll do something else. So a little bit of variety, but within that 1 hour time slot. So in the same way, how can you start implementing points of wisdom in your day-to-day life? Choose one thing at a time. Make it consistent to your life. Be the best at it, and then once it becomes part of your life, then move to the next one. Or after you finish this, let's say you take something else. So it depends on you. But I always tell people, take one thing at a time, be the best at it, master it, and then ask yourself, should you continue or not? Okay, don't try too many things at the same time, like exercise and dieting and reading and doing this. It becomes too much. Okay. Next one, Sudarshan says, I tend to forget things or I don't remember. What can I do? My answer is, we only tend to forget what is not important. We remember what is very important. Let's say, for example, you have a date with a very beautiful girl. She's just someone who you like and you just met. You'd never forget that. Let's say you have a meeting with the CEO of a company after a month. You would keep that in your calendar. You never forget that. Let's assume that someone who you love has met with an accident. You have to go to the hospital every day at 8 o'clock in the morning. You will do that no matter what. So we tend to remember what is extremely important to us, and what we give priority. So if you're forgetting something, it's either you don't like it, or you don't have the interest, or you're not passionate about it. That's as simple as it is. So find out what is the reason, and then decide how you can give importance. Last question by Sudarshan is, do you have any idol whom you get inspired by the most? When I was young, I used to have many, like Arnold Schwarzenegger, Tony Robbins. I used to look at role models. I wanted to be like this guy, that guy, James Bond, Superman, Hulk, there's that, so many things. But now that I'm 42, 43, I don't have any role model. I don't look up to anyone. I just feel, okay, there's something good about this guy. Let me see how I can adopt these skills into my life. Okay, I admire this woman. Okay, this is what I admire. Let me see how I can. So I don't have any role model as such, and I don't have this aspect of hero worship. So it's no one. There's no one in particular. If there is a role model, I just make sure that I look up to myself and I hold myself accountable to high standards. Okay. So the next one is by Tokir Writes, @Tokir Writes. He wanted me to give a shout out of his Instagram/Facebook/WordPress. His name is Tokir Writes. Okay. He writes quotes and poetry. So I wish you all the best. I'll put a small little, the name so you can check it out. Okay, Tokir Writes on WordPress, Tokir Writes quotes and Facebook. Okay, whatever. So his question is, how many people will have to leave UAE by 2020? I don't have any specific number, and I don't think anyone can predict how many people will leave, but I can just give my opinion. It's always the law of the jungle, survival of the fittest. Those people who are dynamic, who are proactive in nature, and who constantly foresee things like 2-3 months in advance or 6 months in advance, they're always at the edge of their toes. They will be okay, because ups and downs will be there, but they would always have a backup plan. They would always have money. But for those people who live each day as it comes, they spend on their credit cards, they spend loans, they just live recklessly, they will have a problem. So I predict, this is my gut feeling, that 70% of the banking, finance, retail industry, including businesses, 70% in the next, say, 5 to 10 years, they will be made redundant. They will lose their jobs or they'll shut down. Now, out of these 70%, I feel half will either go back to their countries, or they'll go to some other countries because they have to survive. But the other half who stay there, they will continue staying there doing something else, something new. They would never want to leave UAE. And there are many people like this who have the money. They don't want to leave because they don't want to start all over again, or they don't want to go back to their country and get taxed. So say if there were 100 people, 33% would go back to their country. The next 33 will lose their jobs, whatever, but they'll stay in the country. And the top 33, for them, they'll somehow manage. Okay, so that is my prediction. Next one is Tokir asks, what strategy tactics business should use if they have to survive in UAE? It's a very simple process. Earn more, earn every single day, keep earning, earn more, spend less, save more. So if you follow that simple analogy, you earn more, spend less, so you get savings. Okay. And this money that you're saved, keep it in savings, because the more you save, the more you have a buffer on a rainy day or bad day. So that's the most simplest principle. Okay. But yes, you need to sharpen your saw. You need to figure out ways and means how to earn more. Earn more by not by working more, earn more by either the same effort or working less. That's called being smart. The next one, Toki says, if resumes are as important as they demand, why have supposedly big companies not evaluating their candidates based on resume degree? And is this actually practical or is meant for certain jobs only? Okay, it's rather long, confusing question, so I'll break it down. If resumes are as important as demand, okay, why have supposedly big companies not evaluating their candidate? Now, which company? Now, when you say supposedly big companies, you have to name the company. I don't know which company you're talking about. Is it Tesla? Is it Microsoft? Is it the government of Dubai? Is it Emar? Is it Nakil? Is it DHL? Which company? So you are assuming something. So when you assume something without having practical evidence, it's it's like me assuming that there are companies giving jobs. Which company? Who? You have to be specific. So why a company is not evaluating their candidates? I don't think there is any single company that doesn't ask for a resume. Let's say, for example, a company wants to employ someone. The company doesn't know you. You might have heard of Nestle, but Nestle doesn't know who is Taukir. So how are they going to evaluate? Now, if, let's say, for example, when I speak to a person, I don't know the person. So I always ask the person, tell me something about yourself. So instead of having the person talk to me for hours and hours, I just tell them, give me your social media links, give me your resume. I'll go through them. I'll get a brief idea who you are, what you do. Okay. So that kind of helps me evaluate the person. Now, if this is not there, how else do I evaluate you? If I ask you, tell me something about yourself, what are you going to tell me? You might be surprised to know this. The majority of people, when I ask them, tell me something about yourself, they just tell me, Loy, I've been living in UAE for 14 years. Right now, I'm working with this company. Then I'm like, okay, that's 1 minute. You have not told me which country you're from, how many people in your family, where were you born, which was your first job, second or third job, what experience do you have, what specialization do you have, core competencies, did you experience unemployment, which countries have you traveled? There are so many dynamics, there are so many factors that come into play. Like, for example, even having a father or not having a father, it does impact a person. Going through financial crisis, it does impact a person. A person who has traveled to many countries versus a person who was just born and raised in India. Different personality. A person who has been a CEO versus someone who has just passed out of college. Different personality. So how do you evaluate this? Do we sit and we ask? Just imagine if suppose we have 1,000 candidates. We have to evaluate 1,000 candidates. Are you going to physically call each and every candidate and ask each and every one, tell me something about yourself? So that is why, to make it easier, we ask for a document, 1 page, where you state what is most important. So I don't know from where you're getting this information that supposedly big companies. Which company? Give me the name specifically. I'll find out through my, list of contacts, someone in that company, and ask them, is this true or false? Okay. Then he says, is this actually practical? This is what is being followed today. This is what the world follows. And I don't see anyone reinventing the wheel. So is this meant for certain jobs only? No, it's meant for all the jobs. Every job, they ask for your resume. After the resume, if you are able to articulate your profile, your personality on the resume, and you make it attractive enough, then they'll call you for a face-to-face interview. And through the first, second, third, fourth, how many ever interview rounds, they kind of decide or ascertain whether you're the right person or not. If yes, you get the job. If no, it's not. So, like, I would ask you, if you don't put a resume, How else do you evaluate someone? What, you sit and ask, let's say 400 people want to apply for the job, all 400 you talk to them? And what if someone is not good at communication skills? What if someone is average at communication skills but exceptional at working? Then what do you do? So these are the questions I would ask you. Then the last question by Thokir, he says, what advice would you give someone who has no degree, no job, and is studying for a certificate course at an entry level? If you don't have a degree, you don't have a job, I would say be very afraid. Be absolutely scared, because you don't have a job means you're not earning money. You don't have a degree, that means nobody would give you any importance. So I would say then better get a job somewhere through somebody, start working your ass off, because the only thing that will help you survive and sustain is street smart and common sense. Otherwise, you're going to be in deep, deep, deep trouble. Okay. So the next question is by Sam. Sam, he says, Loy, guide me on how I can get success in a BPO field. What is BPO? I think it's called BPO. What is BPO? Business process outsourcing. Okay. That is, I think, you make these call center. Okay. That's what I assume. BPO. Okay. I think it's primarily in India. BPO is a contracting of non-primary business activities to third-party providers like payroll, human resource, accounting, customer calls. Okay. So I understood. Okay, fine. So how can I get success in a BPO field, which is a tough environment? Okay, here's my answer to you. BPO or any field in the world is and will always be a tough environment. There's no easy environment in this world. There's no easy job. Now, I assume that you must be a junior or entry level candidate. Okay, so what I would tell you is work harder than others, work most intelligently than others, learn as much as possible. Ask your boss, can I have some more work? Can I do something more? Can I work in a different department? Be like a sponge, dry sponge, just absorbing everything. When I was in Dublin, Ireland, and I was working the only job that I got when I went to Dublin, Ireland was a cleaner. They call it a domestic cleaner, but it's actually a cleaner. I have to clean the toilets, I have to clean the floor, I have to mop, I have to clean the theater once it is, people watch a movie and they leave. So it was called a domestic engineer, but it's actually a cleaner. So what I used to do, most of the others were students. So they would just clean and then they would sit and talk. And, those days, even that time, there was no phone, all that. I think it was I suspect it was 2001, 2000, I think pretty early on, nearly 20 years ago. Okay. So that time Google, YouTube, all that was not there, or it was not rampant as such. So there were no smartphones. So people were sitting and talking to each other and all that. I would never talk. I would say, if I would clean, what I do is clean the toilets. Okay. And then you have to write your name. So I'd make sure my name was written there. Then I would clean the storeroom. Then I'd go to some other place. I would constantly be trying to do some work. And then if there was no job, I would actually go to the boss, the manager, and say, sir, I finished that work. Can you give me something more? And he would be like, okay, you go to this department. I'd finish that. I'd come back to him, sir, I finished that. Can you give me some more work? So he began to like me so much. He would keep putting me for everything. And, very soon I started to get noticed by the management. And then I would actually ask him, sir, after working hours, imagine, they're very strict. Or you get paid for 8 hours, you have to work 8 hours with 1 hour break compulsory. You're not allowed to work more hours. They actually tell you, go home. You finished your 8 hours. I would actually work 8 hours. And then I would work additional 8 hours and tell them, I don't want to get paid. I want to work this extra 8 hours to learn something new. So I would work in the accounts department. I'd work in the call center. I would watch how other people are doing. I would see how the ticketing is done. I would see different departments. I would keep doing that. And very soon, within 3 months, I think I got promoted. And after another 2-3 months, I think I got an increment. So I showed the fire, the intensity, the eagerness to work. I never took a day off. Imagine 8 hours of work for which I get paid and 8 hours extra for free. I worked so much that I climbed up, 2-3 positions, whatever. So in the same way, if you do the same thing, you will succeed. And I think the one thing you need to understand is, you mentioned it's a tough environment. Trust me when I say this, there is no work in this world, no job which is easy. So don't think there is, like anyone's job is easy. Next question by Sam. I don't have good relationship with my father. I don't stay with him. When somebody asks about him, I don't like it. So how do I deal with it? Simple. If someone asks for your father, he's fine. What's happening? Nothing much. Simple. Just give generic answers. How's your dad? Fine. What's he doing? Nothing. When did you last meet him? Oh, I met him a couple of months ago. Just give simple answers. Stop being like a child, man. I mean, just show that you give generic answers and, like divert the attention by asking, so how about you? How was your dad? How was your... So that's so simple. I don't see what's so complicated. And then the last question by Sam, he says, we stay in India, not in UAE. We know you guide people to get jobs in UAE, but not everybody is interested in UAE. So please talk about something else. Use your old videos, cause you did not talk much about UAE. I appreciate if you talk about something else, at least about India. It'll be helpful. If you want to, I don't know, how do I tell people? If you want to watch something else, watch something else. You're asking me to change my content for you when you don't pay me anything. You are a freeloader. I mean, come on. And you're asking me to talk about India. I don't know anything about India. What do you want me to talk about? What's the point? I speak about something I do not know or have no experience. It's like me asking you to speak about bakery. Can you speak about being an electrician? Can you speak about being a shoe cobbler? Can you speak about travel to Croatia? I'm sure you do not know this. So then why am I asking you? Instead of me asking you, why don't you go and search somebody else's channel who speaks about this instead of asking somebody else, listen, I want you to change because I don't like this. You kids need to grow the fuck up, man. India is not my target market. Freeloaders don't pay my bills, so I don't give them importance. I hope this makes you understand, okay? I hate this sense of entitlement that these youngsters have without using their common sense. So the next question is by Peter, 41. He's 41 years old. He's a Mangalorean. So he says, Loy, where do you see Dubai in the next 5 years? Personally speaking, so it's 2020. What do I see Dubai in 2025? My answer is, as long as the leadership of Dubai remains the same, as long as Sheikh Mohammed is there, as long as the existing family continues, as long as the leadership team is there, those oldies, nothing is going to change. The strategy will remain the same. They will do what has worked in Dubai in the past. Unless, of course, there is a dramatic shakeup of the leadership or the hierarchy, like what happened in Saudi with Mohammed bin Salman. He taking over his father with a dramatic shakeup. He ensured all the old timers were either jailed or thrown out or executed or whatever. He brought in completely a new team, everything new. He made drastic changes. Women can come without scarves. You can have rock stars. This religious police will no longer be in charge. Unless you do something as drastic as this, I see Dubai, UAE going in the same direction as it has gone. They will continue making bold predictions, giving optimistic and positive news. They will always focus on getting investments into the country, whether it's money, black money, white money, whatever. And they'll continue being the same because this is what has worked in the past. Okay. So I don't see anything dramatic or drastic changing. It'll more or less be the same. Like I've always told people, the people who need to be careful is the working class market. Okay. Next question is, how can people in UAE be made aware that the economy is living on fines being collected? 80% of the fines received are tricky fines. They can be avoided by taking necessary steps, but they don't. I kind of disagree with this statement because I don't believe UAE's economy only survives on fines. I mean, there is a small fraction of it that comes through fines. I don't think 80% of UAE's economy, which is in billions, is only through fines. There are a lot more other ways. Fines is a very small part of it. And I just believe if you're a safe driver, if you're doing everything right, you don't have to worry. In my case, I've got only 2 or 3 fines in the 40 years, out of which, say, 20 years that I was driving in UAE, 16 years. I got on 3 to 4 fines. 3 to 4. I had only two accidents. That also just a scratch when I was looking at the cars coming from this direction, and the car in front of me, he hit the brake. So I just moved forward and slightly bumped into it. And second one was when I was turning, there's a slight scratch from one of the pickup cars that had this emergency pickup vehicle. So it has a small scratch on the side. That's about it. So I just had three fines. So if you drive safely, if you put your seat belt, if you respect the laws, I don't think you'll have a problem. So I disagree with this statement. Okay. There is a certain amount, small amount that they do generate in terms of fines, but I don't think all the fines are fake. Yes, there is this controversy, the claim that Dubai police issues fines and many of them have to achieve their targets. There's an element of truth in that because I believe there's no smoke without fire, but I don't think everyone is doing that. Okay, so that I disagree. The last question by Peter, he says, why is there no excise duty for spirits and wines sold in the UAE? Now, the thing is, I have never touched alcohol. I have never purchased alcohol. So I don't know anything about alcohol. That is why I had to ask somebody who drinks alcohol. And this is what the person told me. He says, Loy, I think it is built into the selling price while it is imported by the sellers. Prices for alcohol vary from emirate to emirate, while in Ajman, Fujairah, Al Quwain, and Ras Al Khaimah, they do not impose taxes, that is, except the 5% value added tax in its final price. Abu Dhabi and Dubai charge taxes. Dubai charges nearly 100%, which makes it the most expensive, while Abu Dhabi has 30%. I've heard Dubai and Abu Dhabi are planning to charge a little bit more in terms of liquor permit license fee in addition to this. The reason why Ajman, Fujairah, Ras Al Khaimah, and Al Quwain have no taxes is because the emirate has to generate high revenues from their sales, since they are economically poorer to Dubai and Abu Dhabi, and Sharjah is always dry. Okay, I'll address the last two questions and then we'll give it a wrap. This one is by a gentleman named SOS. He says, Loy, thanks for giving me this chance. For someone whose salary is 1,600 US dollars, I have saved $13,600. Due to the current situation of Dubai is unclear or the economy, how long should I stay and when should I leave? Okay. First and foremost, I have to congratulate you and applaud the very fact that even though your salary is $1,600, you have saved $13,000. Congratulations. That's incredible. Okay. Now, that's the first thing. So that shows a lot of character. Now, what your question was, due to the situation unclear of Dubai's economy. See, this situation is unclear for any economy. What's happening in Hong Kong? What's happening in Saudi? What's happening here in Thailand? What's happening in Russia? What's happening in India? Every economy is unpredictable. All of them are intertwined. What's happened with China? So it's not like if you leave Dubai, it's going to be any different or it's going to be paradise somewhere. The grass always seems green on the other side. Don't assume that it's going to be easy. It's never going to be easy. What I suggest to you is, as long as you're making money, as long as you have enough and more savings, continue staying there. But at the same time, keep an eye that something may happen. So keep, a side revenue business stream open. See what can work. Side business, anything, whether it's consulting, whether it's selling things, buying, selling, but always have a revenue stream where you can keep earning. That's very important. Next question by SOS is how to protect our emails and PC from hacking. You're the best to answer this. I tell people, if Google can be hacked, if Microsoft can be hacked, if Windows can be hacked, if the CIA and the FBI can be hacked, what about you and me? They have billions of dollars. They have the best brains in the world. They have infrastructure. They have the greatest minds, and they still could be hacked. Then ours is just a $1,000, $5,000 setup. You think nobody can hack? Anything and everything that you have that is connected online can be hacked. The only way it cannot be hacked is if you are on $1 trillion setup, world's most secure setup. I would just tell you, as long as you're not someone who's so important like the president of a country, your emails are nothing of global importance, just relax the fuck out. Don't worry. I don't think the CIA is going to check which girl did you chat with or which porno did you watch? Okay, just relax. You're not that important to the world. So if anyone reads your emails, relax. You said hi to Nandini, or you watched this girl's nipples and you did a little bit of jiggy jiggy. Nobody's going to, nobody's interested or bothered about it. So just relax. So next one is SOS. Last question. Did you come across? Did you come across to know who hacked your system? How would I know who hacked into my system? Who knows? Maybe they're hacking into it every single day. It can be anyone. There are 7 billion people on the planet. Who is going to hack, and why should anyone be bothered? Yes, hacks do take place. Yes, I do get notifications. Someone tried to log into my account, and I've even posted the image that someone tried to log into my account from this place, that place, this account, that they put the wrong password. So it's never foolproof. Always keep two-factor authentication, and just make sure that anything that is important, you keep it on a separate hard disk that is not connected to your main system. So that helps. I hope this answers your question, SOS. And last if not the least, these are questions by Tushant22 from Mumbai. He asks, how did you get out of being average? Well, the drive and desire to be the best always push me not to want to be the average. So it's just the fire in you. If you have the fire in you, you can do whatever you want. Remember, we are all the same. It's just the effort, the consistent and focused effort that we put that makes us better than the rest. Next one is, how do you stay committed to your goals and not stray away? I have always realized that if you have a very difficult goal, a very big goal, a very complicated goal, it becomes impossible. So what I do is I keep simple, measurable, easy to do goals. Like, for example, I don't focus on six-pack abs because I know it's not going to be possible. So instead, what I do is, instead of six-pack abs, I just say, I'll just do, after I get up in the morning, some physical exercise, and I'll do a slow jog like 3 kilometers, 2 kilometers, anything, just something small, or just few push-ups. I'll not do 100 push-ups, I'll do 4 or 5 push-ups. So I'll not do 200 abdominal crunches, I'll just do 5. So something small, easy. Like right now, I'm reading this book. Okay, I've decided I'll read 20 books on CV, interviews, personal branding, 20 books. So what I did is, every day, you can see I've reached here. Every day, I'll just read 1 or 2 pages, 1 or 2. And sometimes I read 4 or 5 pages. So I make it very easy. See, you see, it's very easy. I can read this in less than 4 seconds. So I just read this, fine. Then, and I've kept this book right in front of me so that every day I remember I have to read something small. So always have short, easy, achievable goals. If you have a very large goal, like let's say, for example, I had my iMac that I wanted to purchase, my brand new iMac, the brand new PC, the brand new Switch. I made a list of things. And then I said, okay, I'll keep this piggy bank. I have, where's my piggy bank? It's there. I can't, because of my earphones, I can't. So I had my piggy bank. I'd put money. Let me show you. 1 second. So I have now, this is one piggy bank. This is another piggy bank. So what I do is every day I put some amount of money that is saved and I put it in this. Now the purpose of doing this is it forces me to discipline myself to save money. So I have, like this, I have many. My wife has one, my kid has one. We have 2, 3 of these. So there is one for, let's say, the rent. There is one for electricity. There is one for eating out. There is one for, let's say, I want to purchase a new game. So I put small amounts of money into each, and that is how I purchase. So that's the same way I purchased my iMac, my PC, and all that. So whenever I get any money, some amount is kept for insurance, some amount is saving, some amount for the future, some amount for sickness. So that's how. So if you have any goal, let's say you want to run 21 kilometers, half marathon. So you break it down, 21 kilometers, you bring it down to, before that you have to run 15, before that you have to run 10, before that you have to run 7, before that you have to run 3, before that you have to run 1, before that you have to run half kilometer. So before that you have to run 100 meters. So you start with 100 meters. After you did 100, every day becomes easy, then do 200 meters. Becomes easy, 400, then half a kilometer, then you do 1. So step by step, keep focusing. And when you do that, you become better. So how do you stay committed to your goals? Make it easy, make it measurable, make it digestible. Have a mentor, have someone to guide you, and take it step by step. And remember, anything that is big, if you break it down, it becomes much more easy, and do it every day. Even if you want to lose weight, every day you have to lose weight. Every day you have to lose even 1 gram, even let's say 100 grams. If you don't lose every day one, how do you reach 1 kilo? So that's how it is. And like I tell people, do it as long as you enjoy it. And last but not the least, final question from Tushant. This is, how do you stop overthinking in general? In my case, whenever I have a lot of things in my mind, I take, like, before I used to take a notebook and I used to write down thoughts. Now I open up Google Docs, I run on all the points over there, whatever I'm thinking. And then I ask myself, what is the one thing I should start doing now? So I don't think about it, I work on it, because just thinking doesn't show any results. Working on something shows results. Always do something, keep yourself busy, and that is what works. So guys, this is the second session of all the Q&A question answers that were asked. I still have many more sessions. I think it might go up to another 10. But like I promised you, all the questions that you've sent me, I will answer all of them. And, this will be the, the episode for Ask Me Anything. As usual, do give me your support if you feel I deserve it. Like the video, put your comments, put your thoughts, and, always keep things transparent. Hope this adds any value. Keep me updated, guys. This is me signing off for now. Take care.